Good morning, friends and family of YouTube. It's Travis again. So typically, I'm posting hiking videos, and every time I drive to the mountains, I pass several different of these centers. Right? We have visitor centers, heritage centers, and now they just built a new welcome center. And I've lived here my entire life, and to be honest, I'm ashamed to admit it, I had never stopped at any of these. I guess, took them for granted. So last weekend, my wife and I decided to go check out all these different ones and see what the differences between them were. And so I've put together a compilation of videos showing those differences, and here they are. So let's get started. All right, so the first stop was at the Cades Cove Museum, which actually is a log cabin that you'll see as you pass by. It is free, so this one actually doesn't cost anything to get in at all. But they've got some items outside. I think this is one of the little churches that they used to put in the parade. Then they've got some farm equipment on a larger scale. And but when you go inside, this is a fairly small place. It's only got 2 rooms, but it is packed with items from Cades Cove. So this is strictly Cades Cove history. But there are so many items in here, and the lady that was working that day, I mean, she knew a ton of information. But you can spend 45 minutes to an hour here, right? Probably even longer, depending on how much time you want to spend looking through all these items. But this is strictly Cades Cove history only. The people that live there, the family, some of the items that they would have used. But like I said, there's only 2 rooms, but they are completely packed with all kinds of items with information about them. So when you go, just expect that. It's not a huge place, but there is a lot to look at. So, just kind of set aside at least, 45 minutes to go through and look at this and really enjoy it. Like I said, it is free, but they do take donations, and they do have a small gift shop that you can buy some items. They solely fund themselves. They don't get any outside funding. So if you do stop, please try to make a small donation for them, please. So the next stop was actually the Blount County Historical Museum, which is located just behind the Cades Cove Museum. And I didn't even know it was there. It was the old health department, apparently. But now this place has so much history. There's multiple rooms. This starts from the very beginning of early Native American history. It goes through probably up until the 1950s, 60s, maybe the 1970s, based on some of the items that are in there. And the gentleman working there is a wealth of knowledge. He knows everything about every single item in here. I'll be honest with you, this one was not one that I expected to stop at because I didn't even know it existed. You can't see it from the road, but if you get an opportunity, definitely stop by here, especially if you're interested in history. So much to see, so many different items from different time periods, but now this one's focused strictly on Blount County history, so a lot more involved than just the Cades Cove. I don't know if I would do both of these back to back in the same day. I mean, it's a lot of knowledge to intake in one day. So spent quite a bit of time here, a little bit more than what I originally expected. But I wish I could have spent some more time. I've got to go back actually and go back into this one because I just did not have a chance to look at everything. But this one, you probably want to set aside a good solid 2 hours. This one's also free. It doesn't cost anything to go in, but they do accept donations, which I would highly recommend. They don't have a gift shop or anything for sale, just donations strictly. But if you do get the opportunity and you're interested in Blount County history, especially if you live here, and if you've not been to this place, I would highly recommend it. There's just so much information. You just can't imagine until you get in there. Just a lot of history about the area. Completely fascinating, but do allow yourself enough time because it will take a while to get through this particular museum. And I had to get this on my last shot. It was a huge catfish that was caught in the area. And again, that was the Blount County Historical Museum in Maryville, Tennessee. But next on the list is the Townsend Visitor Center, and I've driven by this probably 1,000 times, never stopped. But this is more what you would expect of a visitor center. It's basically got some pamphlets on the walls about all the different activities in the Townsend area that you can visit. It does have public restrooms for people to stop at and use, and also has a fairly large gift shop with some items that you can purchase to remember your trip to Townsend. So next is the Great Smoky Mountains Heritage Center. I actually did a full video on that last weekend that gives you a lot more detail if you're interested. But this is a true museum of the Smoky Mountains. This one is the only one out of the group that does have a fee. I believe it's $12 for adults, $10 for seniors, $8 for kids, and I believe 5 and under is free, if I recall correctly. But this one has a lot of information about early life in the area. They do have some early Native American artifacts from the Cherokee Indian Nation. Those are extremely interesting to visit and learn more about. They also have a lot of items from the early settlers in the area, some of the tools and equipment and things that they would have used during that time. So that's the interior part of the museum, and then they actually have this village back behind, which you can't see from the road. I had no idea it was there. There's probably 10 to 12 different structures back there to visit, anywhere from like a couple of cabins showing the early life. There's a blacksmith shop, a moonshine still. They had a small church. I'm trying to think what else they had. Just a lot of different places that would have given you a really good idea of what life would have been like in those times. So highly recommend this one. And plan on spending at least an hour or two here if you really want to enjoy it. They also had an outside amphitheater, so I believe they do concerts like on Fridays and sometimes on the weekends. So the last one is the Great Smokies Welcome Center. This is the newest one that was built, and I was really interested to see what the difference between this and the visitor center would be, and they're basically the same. It's free, they have public restrooms, they've got information on the area, and then they also have a fairly nice gift shop with a lot of different items that you can pick up for friends and family, just to remind you of your visit to the Smokies. But again, this is one of those subjects that's been on my mind for a while. I've always been interested in the differences between the visitor center, the heritage centers. Now they have the welcome center, and I found the Blount County Museum. That one was by mistake, but still awesome. So if you are interested in history, definitely swing by the Cades Cove Museum, the Blount County Museum, and the Heritage Center up in Townsend. All of those are great. The others are visitor centers, so they just have more information about some of the sites and attractions in the local area. But hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button. And I'd also go ahead and ask you to hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. It'll just give you a notification the next time I have another video published. But until next time, just keep walking.